let's dive into more pressing issues. As the Labour Party has been in the front burner for a while now, but there have been some kind of issues trailing the party, from the factional issue with Oluchi Oparah and Julius Abure. Just of recent, one of the chieftain in the party actually came out to shed light in some of the irregularities happening in the party. She's a person of Nkechi Oluchi Oparah, the national treasurer of the party. She actually brought to the limelight how monies were being embezzled. But let's quickly watch this short clip quickly. Let's have a look at it, where after she actually came up to talk about some of those things that were happening in the party, just yesterday, the party went on to suspend her. Let's take a listen.
Intention of a fair hearing, the NWC extended an invitation to the national treasurer to appear before it today, being Wednesday, on or before the hours of 10 a.m., giving her 12 good hours to make up her mind to appear, to discuss the development. The party regrets that the national treasurer shunned the invitation by the disciplinary committee to clear herself and her actions. We see this as an affront on the party leadership and millions of our members who are watching on how their party's image, which they have labored hard to build, is trolled by one ingrate. The disciplinary committee has, however, recommended to the National Executive Council of the party, to the National Working Committee, that Mrs. Oluchi Oparah be suspended from the Labour Party for a minimum of 6 months. This suspension is with immediate effect.
All right, that was an insight into the NWC of the Labour Party, where they actually pronounced Oluchi Oparah suspended for the next 6 months. Now we have with us live, joining us from Lagos, Nigeria, virtually, a person of Oluchi Oparah, the National Treasurer, suspended National Treasurer, as it were. Good morning and good to have you on the show.
Good morning to you. How are we doing this morning?
Well, we're fine and good to see you.
See you too.
Well, despite the whole tension, you're still smiling and all glowing. So walk us through. You came out recently and you told Nigerians there are so many irregularities in the party, where you actually made serious, sensitive allegations. And just a few days after, the NWC pronounced you suspended. Walk us through this whole process and let's get started.
Okay.
All right. Recently, you came out and you had a press release. You talked about some of the irregularities happening in the party. You actually made mention of about 3.5 billion naira or thereabout that were actually misappropriated by the national chairman. Those are heavy allegations. And just a few days later, the NWC alleged that they called you for a roundtable talk and you were nowhere to be found, and you were actually declared suspended as at yesterday. So walk us through this whole process, Oluchi Oparah.
Those allegations are just laughable. Like I will always comment, whatever I want to say, I'll just say that are laughable. But by the way, the last time I checked, I was still the NWC member. Abure and his, they called themselves to Abuja. The courtesy inviting me to be in one of the meetings they had. Then again, the next thing I heard that after the meeting, they came up with a resolution that I be summoned to face a disciplinary committee. Let me remind us, let me tell us here that when that happened, I was not in Abuja. Message, as I'm talking to you, that message came at about 4 minutes past 9. And I saw that message around some minutes past 10. It's then I did as a law-abiding party. I was shocked. I was summoned, have the courtesy in them. The message I sent to them when I was not personally, I was summoned on the platform. They may speak me directly. It is on the general platform, saw it. So when I saw it, what I did was to respond to them immediately. I could. message. I said, I have just seen the general reference said on the platform 24 p.m. 7:04, stating that I should appear a disciplinary of the party tomorrow, 14th February 2024. It is an established fact that I am still a member of the National Working Committee of the Labour Party and was not invited. Such decisions were taken. A law-abiding member of the party, I will make myself up by 4 p.m. Flight is due to land on ground at airport at about 2:30 p.m. That was yesterday. So I humbly request adjustment 10 a.m. 4 p.m. of that same day due to the emergency of the invitation. We enough to request for them that they should move 10 to 4 p.m. They already have it in mind. I was told in mind to do everything they called the day before the invitation was for them to just simply announce my suspension. But two persons said no, for this woman to be given a fair hearing. The reason they said okay, I'll be summoned on 14th, 10 a.m.
Tension of a
fair hearing we're talking about. Particularly disappointed at the NWC of Labour Party, them of the TUC, of the Union of the Labour. So I'm so disappointed.
Okay. Now there are allegations too. There are counter allegations.
Allegation.
Yeah.
We are being embezzled, being stolen. That former chairman's signature was by Barrister Julius Abure. Money from that account, barely 2 months after the man's death. Thought that in the same environment, for them to do would have been for them to ask Abure, step aside, let us carry an investigation. They are bootlickers because they so much believe that Abure can do and undo. Because Abure has already made them believe that they are coming back to NWC solely depend on him. What use? NWC, they cannot even carry out simple tasks.
Okay, Oluchi Oparah. Oluchi Oparah, can you hear us? Let's quickly manage our time. Some members of the Labour Party are actually pointing accusing fingers on you, at you, as it were, that it's because you are not really cashing out, that's why you are crying out now. Why didn't you speak out all these years? If you actually allege that there are a lot of irregularities happening in the party, you said he has been taking money, you alleged that the late party chairman died, and just a few months later, withdrawals were made. Why didn't you speak out all these years if you weren't benefiting from the party? So it's because you weren't cashing out enough, you felt sidelined, and that's why you're speaking out now. Let's walk through this one now.
And I don't receive a lot. Based my facts, based on my calculation, my rough estimates of how many people picked phone. Talking about cashing out, he has tried to induce me with cash. I said no. To my house with a car gift. I said no. He tried to bribe me with house. I said no. I want to man that will stand for integrity. Because the leader of the party, Mr. Pito, when it comes to issue of integrity and accountability, if we are saying that the government of the day is not doing well, what about us? Somebody has to speak up. I don't care to know what they are saying. The truth remains that a whole lot of damage to the image of the party. They're so quick into conclusion. Why were they not able to carry out investigation to at least to ascertain if I was lying or not? How the account number on the television? Thing for them to do would have been for them to go and verify. The mole. I have been a member of the Labour Party for the past 10 years. I've watched this party grow. For now was nothing until the coming of Mr. Peter Obi. Had it this big. If we're talking about accountability, why can't we do things differently?
But
why
some
can't
other
we be able
persons
to say, okay, this is what we have been able to realize, and this is what we have been able to realize.
Okay. But it seems that some people are actually of the opinion that you actually sponsored, that the opposition party is pushing you to do this. If you are coming up now, where we have so many elections coming up in the country, Ondo State, Edo State, why speaking now? Is it that you are being sponsored? They must have given you some huge sums that is motivating you to speak with so much confidence, because all these allegations are weighty, very, very weighty. So how do we start? How do we try to substantiate your allegations if you were not really sponsored, as it has been alleged by some people in some quarters?
For this question, I am not being sponsored. The thing they know how to do is to pass wrong information. Once you stand to speak up the truth, saying that one is being sponsored, writing letters for the past month of 7 months should be able to be foreign by now. One should be able to be standing up, or probably to be able to making some steps. I've tried to tell the national chairman, but in his usual way, he feels adamant. He feels he's the owner of the party. He can do and undo, sends money to his account, to his wife's account, to his brother's account. If you don't mind, I can even call out the account numbers where Abure's phones money to. You can also go and verify.
Well, we would like to get that personally. Yeah, go ahead. Land on your thought. Go on. You were on a thought. Let's allow you land on that thought before we move on quickly.
Obije Abure, that is Abure's wife's account at Zenith Bank. That is 1000. That's 1,681.31. Chambers, his personal account 101,942. We have Abure's personal account again with UBA 200. That's 2,000. We have Zuzu Global Services Limited. That is Abure's account with account number 019334666. Abure's personal account, account. Also have Lifelong Latin and Bakeries Limited. Stanbic IBTC account.
Okay, it's obvious. Oluchi Oparah, it's obvious you have so many proofs.
He has used to siphon money from party's account.
Okay, going forward, what is the motive behind this revelation, this recent revelation? Now the NWC have suspended you as it stands now. What is the motive going forward?
Going forward is that I am going to challenge it because I wasn't given fair hearing. Even if you want to kill a woman or a man, allow that woman or a man a fair hearing. I responded to them when I saw that notice on the platform. I responded to them. I wasn't rude. If you had listened carefully, my choice of word, I was not rude to them. Humbly extend, because I was not in Abuja. 10 from 10 to 4 p.m. because I was due to arrive Abuja at 2:30 p.m. yesterday. To them, but because they already premeditated what they had in mind to do, about 12 noon of yesterday, they already announced it. I was so embarrassed. Yeah, so they're calling me to ask me my opinion that I've just been suspended. Let me tell you here, Abure has had it in mind. He has been trying to do that, but because he didn't have enough ground to do what he had in mind to do. Challenge Abure for his ills. The person out. That will do everybody. If you challenge Abure for the ills he's doing, the next thing Abure will do, you want to. The person, those end up not getting investigated. But this one must be investigated.
Okay, let's quickly.
The account at Sedi Plaza. At Sedi Plaza, Abure forged that signature 2 months after his death. He didn't even mind the emotional trauma the family was going through. All he cared about was how to siphon money from the...
Okay, let's begin to call it a wrap now as we're trying to manage our time. Let's begin to call it a wrap. Edo State will be having its election in September. Primary elections are already gearing up. Ondo State is also in the spotlight for the election. How will this affect the Labour Party in these two states? Will it have any negative impact with this current revelation that is coming from you, the National Treasurer, owing to the fact that the party for a while now have been struggling to manage the internal crisis they had? And yours looked like adding fuel to a burning fire. So let us walk us through. Will it have any negative impact on those elections and on Ondo by extension?
I'm afraid does not step aside election freely to all. Abure is one man that does not have electoral value. Election, if you remember, Edo was obedient. The whole obedient group started from Edo. As I speak to you, Abure did not even win his word. Not when he says senatorial district. What are we talking about? I've been in talk. Some party, check it. Aside, lose Edo. Lose Edo, Labour Party is as good as not being a political party. Abure should step aside. He cannot do any good. Besides, if not, we will lose it.
Okay, thank you so much, Oluchi Oparah. This is how far we can go. We'd like to have you again on the show so we'll have enough time to look at some of these intrigues in the party. And we hope this crisis, they are being resolved in good time. All right, thank you so much. That was Oluchi Oparah, the suspended National Treasurer of the Labour Party.